Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'll be continuing to read Black Panther, the Young Prince. So let's continue. Chapter 12. T'Challa took the exit stairwell and headed up the steps, away from M'Baku, who was asleep in the room after gorging himself on room service ice cream. There were 9 floors in the embassy, and he was going to the very top. Hopefully, there would be a way onto the roof. A few minutes later, he was standing in front of a green door in the dimly lit stairwell. He turned the handle. Locked. A window to his left was closed by rusty hinges. He turned one of them, and the small red flakes fell away onto the sill. He turned the other, and then slid the window up. He stuck his head through. A cold blast of air greeted him and stung his cheeks. A fire escape ladder on his right was positioned along the brick and steel wall. T'Challa let out a breath, reached across with his left arm, grasped the closet rung, and swung himself over to grab the other with his right. He then climbed up to the top of the roof. He didn't have to go to such lengths, but something spurred him on. It felt a little dangerous, and he had to admit, he missed those moments in Wakanda where he and M'Baku pushed themselves as far as they could. The lights of Michigan Avenue glittered below him. He heard the car horns and the hum of traffic. The night air was cool on his face. He tapped a bead on his Kiyomo bracelet. A moment later, a screen appeared and hung in midair. His father's face projected upon it. "Son," his father said. "Father," said T'Challa, "how are you? How is the kingdom? Has there been any—" "All is well at the moment," the king said. He rubbed his brow. "There was a small skirmish on the outskirts of the city, but we have driven the invaders back." T'Challa was not convinced. His father's face was drawn. He looked tired. "But how are you, T'Challa?" his father said. "Are you and M'Baku staying safe?" "Sure," he said. "But you know M'Baku. Always wanting to stir things up. Keep an eye on him. If anything happened to him, his father would never forgive me." T'Challa thought that a little funny, his father being concerned with what one of his citizens thought of him. He was the king and could do whatever he wished without consequence, but he still had a conscience. That was why people swore allegiance to him. He was a fair man and a wise king. There was something else T'Challa wanted to ask. He took a breath. "What about Hunter?" The king drew back from the screen just a bit. He hesitated a moment before speaking. "I have given Hunter a very important position, something that will help us keep the country safe." T'Challa felt a stab of jealousy. "What is it?" he asked. "I have started a security force. It is called the Hatu Sirase." "Dogs of War," T'Challa translated from Wakandan. "You know Hunter is a great tracker, T'Challa. Even at his age, he's training young recruits in the art of stealth and maneuvers, just in case. When the fighting starts, I'll be here by Father's side, not running off to hide in America." T'Challa's face fell. "Do not think of it as a slight, son," the king assured him. "And he has a strong, if quick to act, mind. I can smooth that out, with time." "Say whatever you like, little brother, but while you're away, I'll keep your royal seat warm for you." "T'Challa," the king said, "when you get back, you can work together, you and your brother, keeping Wakanda safe from invaders." T'Challa feigned a smile. "Sure, father, I will look forward to that." There was a moment of silence. T'Challa couldn't think of what to say. "How is the school?" his father finally asked. "How is Chicago?" "It's okay," T'Challa replied, his thoughts still on Hunter. "Good," his father said. He turned his head, leaving his face in profile on the screen. He nodded, as if someone was speaking to him. He turned his attention back to his son. I must go, T'Challa. Take care of yourself, and if there is anything to report, I will be in touch. And just like that, the screen winked out. T'Challa looked at the Chicago night. Hunter's face flashed through his mind. He saw him wearing a crisp uniform complete with the Wakandan colors and gaining his father's favor. The Hatu Sirase, a secret police force. Why would father give him such power? Hunter would surely try to boss him around when he got back to Wakanda. I won't let him, T'Challa promised himself. If he tries to order me around, he'll be in for a surprise.